So hello everybody, in this week's video we are trying to recreate a video that I saw a couple months ago now from Kalle Halden. I will link his YouTube channel down in the description. He has a really great YouTube channel. He does a lot of automation with Python scripts and everything. I really like it. I saw a video of him creating an automatic Git repo with just one command line because he was tired of every single time having to go on GitHub, create a repo, then clone it, put it in a specific folder and open it and start his project. So we automated everything. I really like that video, but I think that it's possible to make it a little bit faster. I will show you how to do it. First, we will need a structure to know exactly how to create it. I'm just looking in my phone. So there you go. So the thing that we need first, we need to create a public or private Git folder. So that's the first thing. Second, we will need to clone that folder to a specific repository. Third, we need to open that repository or open that folder that we just created. In there, that's a little bonus, I will say, you don't need to do that, but we will create a React application. And after that, we will open that whole folder in Visual Studio Code. That all will happen with one single command line. So let's get into it. Okay, so how do we do this? It's really simple. The first thing that we'll need to do is create the Csh Rc File. So to create that, you go into your Start folder. So mine is already created, but we will delete it and we will create a new one. So to create a new one, you go into your terminal and there type nano /.zshrc. Okay, so you will get this screen. So I'll make it a little bigger. In there, you type whatever, and we will first of all save this. Control X to do that. You say yes, I want to save it. The file name to write, it's good for me. So boom, and normally, if you go back, you will have a file that is created. So now that this file is created, you will go inside that file. There you go. And we have again what we wrote, so whatever. So when that is done, the thing that is important to know is what we want at the end. At the end, I want to have something like this. Create the name of my folder. So I guess max. And if it's public or private, okay? So create max private, and then it will create one on GitHub. Okay, so that's important. So the thing that we need to have now is a GitHub access token. To have that, you go on your GitHub profile, you go to settings, okay, developer settings. So you go to personal access token, and then you generate a new token. When you're in there, you call it whatever again you choose, and you give it all access, okay? And then you generate it. I already have one, but you know, you click on everything, you generate it, you will have the code, and the code will help you get access to your GitHub. So that's the thing. Normally you will have your token now. So the first thing that we need to do is make sure that the terminal understands the create function. To do that, inside your file that you just created, you will need to make two things. First of all is a function, because we need a function. Our function will be called create. We make this, and in there we will just do a simple echo of a first parameter that we give to our function. To make sure that the terminal understands it, we will create an alias that we will call create again. Here the terminal will understand create and link it with the function create. When that is done, and you save of course that file, you will first of all need to refresh, make a new terminal or create a new terminal, open a new terminal is maybe better. And in there normally if you create, you type the word create and something, it will output the second thing, so max here. And there you go, so it works. So we know that it's linked now with our function create. The second thing that we need to have now, if you remember, is that I want to have the name of my repository, and also if I want my repository to be private or public. So it needs to understand that the second parameter is private or public. So after looking a little bit on internet, I saw that it was possible just to look at what the second parameter was by just doing this. So you have a second parameter, that's the one that we give, and it will just look if it's private. You get it, it's just an if test, and then it will create a repository. So this here, this is my old access token, but for you guys it will be your access token that we just created. And in there you will have a couple things. So you will have the data that will be given, the name of your repository will be the first parameter, and the trick to make it happen is to write it like this. So again, the code will be available on GitHub, so you don't need to type super fast. Just get the code and you'll have all the little tricks, because it took me some time to see if it was working or not, but now it works. So you just need to do this, and it will or make it private for the first one, like you see here, private is true and the visibility is private, and it will just go to your repo URL. And the other one, it just create a repository with your name and it's automatically public. Okay, you don't need to say that the visibility is public or anything, it's by default. So now we have our repository that is created on GitHub. So what we want to do now is that it immediately puts that repository that we just created, that it clones it and put it inside a specific folder. You choose whatever folder that you want. It doesn't matter. For me, I have a project folder where I put all my projects in there, but you guys can choose. So now the thing that we need to do is we will need to cd to that specific folder. Okay, so we will go in that specific folder, and after that we will say we git clone and the specific URL. The specific URL here is https://github.com/your username. So here for me it's Maxime@1997 / the name of your repository, but we know that one because we just give it as a parameter at the beginning of our function. So here it's just this .git. Okay, so now our repository will be cloned inside our project folder or my project folder and whatever folder for you guys. So when that is done, we want to go inside that repository. So we cd to that specific repo, take the whole path and just cd to it, it will be easier. And now what I want to do is create a React application immediately. If you don't want a React application, you don't need to do this part. You can go to this timestamp and from there we will just immediately open it in Visual Studio Code. But if you want to create one automatically, you just follow with me. So now what we want to do is when we are inside that repository, we want to say npx create React app and the name of your app. I like to call it client, so you call it whatever that you want. It's up to you guys. But when that is done, it will create that project or it will create that React application. After creating that React application, what we want to do is make a first commit. Okay, so everything is already saved on GitHub and you don't need to do it manually afterwards. So to do that, you just say get add everything, get commit with your message. I'll just say first auto commit and you push it. When that is done, we want to go inside the folder, the client folder that we just created. So you go inside that folder and then you want to open Visual Studio Code. After looking a little bit on internet, I found a guy that made a function that makes that whole thing work. Apparently it's not possible with CSH to open Visual Studio Code immediately. Again, you can get it on my GitHub repo. And with that, we can immediately open Visual Studio Code. And when all this is done, normally I'm able to start my project. So we will save this and we will see if it works. So again, you open a new terminal, you quit the old one, and we say create final repo, and we want to make it private. There you go. So there you go. So again, it first echoes the first parameter that we give. If we look on our GitHub profile, we see here that final repo was created and that it's private. So that's really good. That's what we want. And if we see again, there you go. It's installed and now it's installing React. So we will just wait a little bit till everything is installed and then we will come back. So after everything is installed, normally you will have, like me, Visual Studio Code that opened. we can see that everything here is installed. And so we automatically created our React application just by typing one single command in the terminal, which I think is pretty cool. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel and maybe like the video if you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. See you.